Today I want to take a look at Azure Functions and how to run those on localhost. So here we're looking at the Azure portal and we can do a search for new resource, Azure Function. Go ahead and choose a function app, hit create, and provide a name. On localhost, I do have an empty folder ready to go for our Azure Function. So I'll go ahead and pick that. I'll pick out a resource group and an Azure Function app name. And for runtime, let's see, on this one we can do .NET, Central US, review and create. So pretty simple settings going through the Azure Wizard. We confirm the settings. It's going to make a storage account as well. And we'll hit create, and it's initializing the deployment. So here we can see the deployment running with the different resources starting to come online. Status accepted, status okay. It's provisioning the different dependencies for the deployment. All right, now we have deployment complete. So if we do the deployment details, we see everything with an OK status and complete at the top. So that's fantastic. That lets us go ahead and hit the Go to Resource button, navigate into our Azure function. So over here we have publishing profiles, app content, all kinds of good stuff. Now on the local host, what I'd like to do is make a new function with VS Code. So we'll go ahead and follow the wizard here, and we'll do a direct publish, continue. And here we have an npm install, which I've already run, but we'll go ahead and run it again here. All right, so now we can see the npm install completed successfully. That's our dependencies. We do have .NET Core already complete, and the Azure Functions extension for VS Code went ahead and already installed that, but we can walk through it again with the install button, and that launches VS Code to show our extension. We can see it over here on the left-hand side. It's showing app service and functions. So that's installed. Go back over to the wizard. And looking at the wizard instructions, it now talks about creating a new project and creating a new function, pressing F5 to run with VS Code. So we're over here in VS Code. We have an empty working folder. By doing View Explorer, we can see our empty local folder. Over here on the left, we can open the Azure Functions. And at this point, we have our new function we just created. And on that, we can click the plus, the green plus, to create a new function. We'll go ahead and use C# for this one. And template, we'll do HTTP trigger. And we can go with the default name. That's fine. And default namespace. We'll use anonymous for the authentication to get us started. And we do get a message about unresolved dependency. We'll restore the C# extension. So there it is, restoring. Finish creating project. Looks pretty good. Okay, cool. So let's see. Take a look at our code. There's our HTTP trigger in C#. We'll go ahead and press F5 to run, and we get the debug toolbar at the top. We get some text scrolling at the bottom. It's doing the compilation for the DLL, and then func host start fails with unable to find project root, expecting to find host JSON, local settings, and project root, terminated with code 1, press any key to close. Now if I come back over here to Explorer, I see I do have a host.json in my working folder, and it also a local settings .json. So I have both of these files in the project root, but it's somehow not detecting it. So if I press any key to close, and then go ahead and do view terminal, make sure that I'm in that particular folder, that the terminal is there with host.json, press F5 again. We get the build appears successful, creates DLLs, func host start fails again. So at this point, what I can do is navigate down a couple of levels and go to the NetCore app, and I see a host JSON there. And if I type func host start, going down 3 folders, then it seems to be successful. We get the Azure Functions logo. We get a green message about the trigger being ready at localhost. And if I open a browser to the localhost URL, I can see the scrolling text in the background that it is hitting the endpoint. And if I truncate to localhost 7071, I get the welcome message that your functions app 2.0 is running. It's just kind of odd that pressing F5 didn't really execute it, that it needed me to navigate down 3 folders and then do the func host start. So yeah, that's the video, and thanks for watching.